Okay, so now what I want to do is move on to the next section of this. It's about being focused, and it's focus is the word, Focus. What I want to do is look at that word. It's the short-term goals that you have, or I have, 12 months to 18 months. Those are relatively simple. They're short-term. I can get figure out the plan to get to there wherever I'm needed to go, either financially or career-wise or entrepreneur-wise. It's simple to figure out what to do short-term. Relatively simple. Lots of information out there on how to do that. It's when I get to the longer-term goals, the entrepreneurial type stuff, the freelance stuff, the want to completely change career stuff, looking to make $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, $500,000. That's when planning comes in, and just like why, the focus to me is 5 separate letters. The F is going to be foresight, which is your planning. You have to have at least a 6-month goal. Then you want a 6-month, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And in doing that, and they've got to be written down. They have to be written down. That will keep your mind on track. Keeps my mind on track. I'll catch that. When I write these things down, it gives me purpose. I think about it. I write it. I read it, and I actually okay, I'm going to do this. Well, I've just said it. And it's not I think I will, or I might be able to do this. No, I am going to do this. And with the I ams, the I cans, the I wills, and I haves, the mind is a crazy thing. It will make everything I believe I can do come true. And it's very crazy how it works. I've stopped trying to figure it out. I just use it to my advantage. When the goals are written down, it's I am going to do this. I am going to make $1 million in the next 5 years. I remember in 2002 when I wrote down my first set of goals. When I got my real estate license, I got my broker's license in 2002. One of the things was I'm going to get my broker's license. I did this in February of 2002. I had my broker's license by June of 2002, my real estate broker's license. Opened it up on July 4th. My plan was over the next 10 years to make $1 million in a year. I had accomplished that by 2006, 2007. I had done that. And so it's one of those where you have the sun's coming and changing, and now without all the leaves here, the shadows show up. Although, like I say, I had accomplished it in about 4 or 5 year period, not the 10 years I thought it would take me. And there was a lot of things I wrote down that I was able to accomplish because I wrote them down. And now I have no idea what happened to that sheet, and I would really love to find that sheet again. And I started it again to write down the goals. 6 month, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. The catch to that is once you write those down, you got to back those down, or I have to back them down. When I back them down, I back them down to what do I have to do today to reach that goal in 1 year. And when I work on 1 year increments, it's amazing how much I can get done. When I write down the goals, here's what I found. I will usually overestimate what I can get done in a year and underestimate what I can get done in 5 to 10 years. And that becomes, what it comes down to is the momentum that is started in year 1, 2, 3, and 4. When that momentum really takes off, there's no stopping it. My goal this year was to hit a specific number. I'm going to get about 95% of that goal done. Anytime you can get 95% of any goal done, things are going to happen. Things are going to drastically change in life. And that's what I recommend is set the goal, set it 6 months out, set it 1 year out, set it 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Always break it down to what do I got to do today, and do that today, knowing that in 2, 3, 4 years, you're going to probably have, or I will have already probably hit my goals, and they will have changed. I'm going to do 100,000 a year. Well, next year my goal is 250,000, because it's that momentum that is moving that you want to have. And don't just set goals financially. You want to set goals personally. So the disadvantages of a side hustle. Part of it, it comes back to that time management. That's going to become one of the disadvantages, simply because I thought when I was doing this, when I was starting it, and I'm gonna go back to my real estate stuff, my insurance stuff, and I can do the YouTube. It's taking up time. I could be doing other things, and that's where setting a schedule. I do this 3 days a week. I plan the videos, set the scripts up, get the shots ready, and then I come out and I film it and then go. Like, this is not too many more going to be outside because it's like 38 degrees right now. It's a little cool, except I like it. It's nice. It's a cool, brisk day up here in the Northwest. Another factor is going to be not seeing any results. The disadvantage of that is I think nothing's getting done, nothing's happening. It's not working, when in actuality it is, because the whole thing is about me. From a standpoint, I need to be a better person to convey a message. In this instance, in the YouTube instance here, in the event I was to learn how to do taxes, I would go to school. I would have to educate myself. Go to H&R Block or whoever it is. Whoever the other guys, go through their course to figure out how to do taxes. That's the education. It's the time. It's managing time correctly. Managing time so that I can actually fit more into a day than I did before, doing nothing. And it sounds crazy, although when I plan my day out, I get a lot more done a lot faster. And it's kind of crazy when I think about it. Another factor is in having a side hustle is the taxes. From the standpoint of when the income goes up, depending on how the side hustle was done. The short-term side hustle, that this is a job, it's just going to get added onto my income, and it's up in whatever tax bracket I'm in. And don't tell me that, oh well, I'm going to make more money, so I have to pay more taxes. Okay, so I want to make sure I understand this. Let's say I'm making $50,000 now, and I'm paying $5,000, and I'm just going to use round numbers so everybody understands it, so that I understand it. That's the simplest thing. And let's say I have to pay $5,000 in federal taxes. Okay, so let's say I have to pay 20%. So I get to keep $40,000. Now, I make $75,000. Oh man, you gotta pay more. You gotta pay $15,000 in taxes. Yeah, okay, so what's the downside? Let me see. I went from 50 to 75, paying 10 to 15, keeping 40 to keeping 60. So by paying 15, I made another 20. It boggles my mind when people will say, oh, I have to pay more taxes. You get to keep more too. Come on, do the math. Math is relatively simple, and that's what I'm going to let you know. That's the way I looked at it, okay? I looked at it from the standpoint, how much do I get to keep becomes the question. That's the only question I ask. And then when I am doing a freelance, I'm doing an independent contractor, anything like that, yeah, I'm good with that because I understand the taxes. I understand itemized deductions. I understand that I think it's the form 8506, where you're itemizing all your deductions, and that changes your net income, or that changes your gross tax deductions, your gross tax. It goes from 75 down to 50, and so now you're paying 10. And this is not tax advice. It is not legal advice. It's just something. Just go look at the numbers and read the instructions. Okay, that's all I did was I read the instructions on a 1040. Wow, how fascinating. So the downsides to it usually do not outweigh the upside when it's done correctly. When I was out there just kind of throwing mud at the wall, did not work at all. Once I started to get focused, life changed. So that's the disadvantages. Now the next thing I want to do is go over how to balance it, balancing the whole thing. Okay, balancing a side hustle. I have to have boundaries. From a standpoint of the boundaries are relatively simple. This is the time frame I'm going to do it in. I don't go over it. I work with staying inside that boundary, that 2 to 3 hours, 3 times a week. That's the goal I have to do this, and that's what I recommend. Is whenever you have a side hustle, whenever I have a side hustle, yes, I do it on the weekends. That's usually when I can do the filming is on the weekends. That's usually when I can get a lot more done, simply because here I look at it this way. When I'm willing to put in 30, 40, 50 hours a week for someone else, I should definitely be able to put in 8 hours a week for myself. That's the way I look at it. And in the event I can't, I look at like, okay, why was I not able to work for myself? What got in the way? I mean, the past 2-3 weeks, I've been working 80 hours a week. It got a little hectic, and I was a little tired. So that actually, and I'm not going to use that as an excuse. I just didn't get it done. So balancing the side hustle, especially when I have a family or when there's a family involved, that's when it becomes challenging. And that's when organization, commitment, self-determination really show up. So, like I said, this is part of it is a short one. That's pretty much it on that. So we're going to move on to the next section, which once I get basically we're going to hit the conclusion now of this whole thing. Okay, so in conclusion, we started with what we were going to talk about. Side hustles, short-term, long-term, why, focus, upsides and downsides. A side hustle is a really personal thing. When I want to do something and I want to better myself and better my life, better the people around me, I look at where I'm going to make the most impact. How am I going to make the most impact? Getting into the right mindset to do something. Like I say, I've done options trading, I've done forex trading, worked on insurance. And everything kept bringing me back online. And so it was finally coming to the realization that somewhere online is where I'm going to find what I'm looking for. And this seems to be what I've been looking for. That's the biggest factor, is find something that I'm comfortable with. Find something that I know I can do, even when it takes me out of my comfort zone. There's a crow flying overhead. That's what I'm going to recommend. Take the time. Don't just say I want to make more money, or I need to make more money. Well, okay, why? Well, I need to make money to pay down my debts. Okay, why? Well, because in paying down my debts, I will have extra income. Okay, now, does that mean I go out and spend that extra income and do something else to get me a debt? Because that would defeat the purpose of getting out of debt. So, okay, why? So that I can pad my bank account. Okay, why? So that I can have the peace of mind of knowing that I've got $10, $15, $20,000 in the bank. Okay, why? Because anything happens from a job standpoint, from an injury standpoint, the family, I or the family have money to live on. Why? Because we don't want to be homeless. Okay, that makes sense. Just saying I need more money, that's a vague statement. The question that is always asked when the why comes up is what else? What else would do that? To get out of debt, to have money in the bank, to have a peace of mind. That's the what else. That's the conclusion part of this thing. What I'm going to recommend is maybe go back through this again and go through it a little slower. Stop, take a look at it, see what it says. The goal, like I say now, I put on to get the channel verified. So I add links below to put the PDF for the 10 questions, the bonus questions. In the event the link is not there, there will be 3 screenshots on the page that you can take your time, stop them to copy down the questions real quick. Those will be there. Or in the event they're still there, also look in the description, because they may have been verified after I got the page done, or after I got this video done, and I was able to put them back in the description. With that, I wish you well on your journey. Yeah, you. And it's going to be a fun ride. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy every aspect of it, every up, every down. Let me know whether or not this helped. You know, it's always nice to know that somebody actually listened to it, got something out of it, implemented it, and was able to work with it. In the event that is the case, let me know what else would you like to like me to talk about. There's a lot of stuff that I want to that I'm going to cover, and there's a lot of stuff that I know I'm going to cover in the future that I'm not even thinking about right now. So with that, you have a wonderful day. Enjoy life as you can, and I will see you in the next video.